Welcome to another episode. Today's question is, why can't people live beyond suffering? I'll repeat, why can't people live beyond suffering? Definitely, loss of near or dear ones, a huge loss in business, or loss of livelihood brings tremendous suffering because mostly it is a question of survival, and that has a great impact on your emotions. So that is unavoidable. That is a normal reaction of survival. So, but one has to get over it after the initial shock. It may not be an end. Mostly, it is not an end physically. There are many ways of coming out of it. But the shock, the thought prevents it. Thought plays it again and again. If we understand that and let the thoughts flow, don't repeat it mentally again and again. Don't carry it over. Then find out what is the problem. Reason it out. Try to get over it and come out of it. Normally we think thought is our life, but that is merely a tool. It is the mind which is suffering. Mind is mostly of thought. If there is physical suffering, we can go to a doctor and get it rectified through medicines. If there is a mental suffering, find where the mind is. If the body is suffering, you know where it is physical. You are there. You can identify where the problem is. And where is the mind? It is not there. It is thought. So get out of the solution is get out of the repetitive thoughts. Initial shock, of course, is there. Then get over it. Find out the problem. Rectify the problem. There is no mind as such, apart from thought. And of course, few other things like emotions and other things are there associated with mind. But there is no absolute existence. There is no body part called mind. So first let us see from J. Krishnamurti's second public talk in Sun. Suffering, both physical and psychological, is a factor that makes a man or a woman completely held. And being enclosed in that suffering, one tries to get away, minimize it. We say, time will cure it. Or go to church. You know the various things that we indulge in to escape from the factor of extraordinary concentration, of total energy, which does not take place where there is fear and where there is the pursuit of pleasure. It is only when there is an extraordinary suffering, which we all go through, in that suffering all thought is held, right? Because this very suffering is a product of thought. Here he is trying to tell what we call suffering itself is merely a product of thought. There is a problem. Of course, problem is not a thought, it is real. And the suffering, it is thought. Physical pain is real. Mental pain is thoughts. That suffering is thought. But sometimes there is extraordinary suffering. Because I am attached to you, he continues, and you desert me, that is a paralyzing action. I have lost you, in whom I have invested my comfort, my desire, my sexual appetites, everything in you. I have lost you. You are dead, and I call that suffering. What is a mind that sees the incorrect thinking of escape? Escape is incorrect thinking. To rationalize is to incorrect thinking. To accept is incorrect thinking. Or to deny is incorrect thinking. But only the fact which is what takes place in that mind. Knowing suffering is also the starting factor. There is not only personal separate suffering as you and me, but also there is suffering of mankind, the whole suffering. The suffering that has been brought about through wars, millions of mothers have cried, and wives or whatever they are. There is this vast cloud of suffering, personal suffering and also the universal suffering. The global suffering through economic, lack of money, lack of food, lack of education, ignorance, poverty. All that is vast human suffering, which is part of my consciousness, right? Please follow this part of my consciousness, not only suffering, but also suffering of human beings right through the world. Therefore, from suffering is in the field of reality. Thought is the factor that gives energy to suffering, because suffering is a distorting factor, it is a burden, it darkens everything. Suffering darkens everything. It is made real by thought, but it is only thought. And suffering is brought about by poverty, lack of education, wars, and many other things. So next we will see, so in essence we understood from J. Krishnamurti that it is only thought which is the main reason for suffering. There are laws, but even that laws is brought about by the thought, somebody's arrogance, desire, that brings about the pain, and we mentally suffer apart from the physical suffering. Get out of the thought. Next we will see Seeds of Wisdom and Falling in Love with Darkness, 2 books from Osho. From that we will see what he says about suffering. I had just seen a lady to the door and returned. I do not know her. Some suffering has engulfed her mind. It's darkness that is formed an aura all around her. I felt this aura of suffering as she came in. Without wasting time, she asked me at once, "Can suffering be destroyed?" I looked at her. She appeared to be a living monument of suffering. Slowly, people are all becoming such monuments. They all want to destroy suffering, but are unable to do so, because their diagnosis of suffering is not correct. Suffering exists in a certain state of consciousness. It is the characteristic feature of that state. Within that state, there is no freedom from suffering, because that state itself is suffering. In it, if you remove one sorrow, another takes place. This chain continues. You may free yourself from this sorrow or that sorrow, but freedom from suffering as such does not happen. The suffering remains, only the causes change. Elimination of suffering, the freedom from suffering happens in changing the state of consciousness, not in becoming free of individual sorrow. On the dark night, a young man approached Gautam Buddha. He was sad, worried, and anguished. He said, "What a suffering the world is, and what a torment it is." Gautam Buddha said, "Come to where I am. There is no suffering here, there is no anguish here. There is a state of consciousness in which there is no suffering." It was to indicate toward this consciousness that Buddha has used the term "where I am." There are 2 states of human consciousness, one of ignorance and the other of knowing, one of identification with the other, the second of self-realization. As long as I identify myself with the other, there is suffering. This bondage with the other is suffering. Becoming free from other, realization of the self, being in the self, is the elimination of suffering. I am not it. I hence the suffering. I am not it, I, hence the suffering. Here it means not I am, but I, hence the suffering. When I actually become I, suffering ceases. That is, if you realize, in short, what Osho says is, if you realize yourself, understand who you are, not in another, but self-realize, then all the suffering ceases. It is a state of consciousness, away from the state of the thought. That is where all the suffering ceases. There is a small story, again from Osho. A rich man entered the court and presented his case. He showed a poor man and told him he was praying to God, and just as a joke, I threw a bag of my money in front of him. Does God ever send money? Have you ever heard that God has sent money? But this crazy man has taken that money and says it is his own money. I want my money back, he told the court. The magistrate asked the mystic. The poor man was a mystic. What he had to say? The mystic said, I have nothing to say except that this man has lost his mind. He is mad. The magistrate asked the poor man, show me the evidence. He replied, the evidence is that you are talking about money. But if you ask this man whose clothes I am wearing, he will claim that they belong to him. If you ask him about the horse, he will say that it is his horse. The rich man immediately said, be quiet, the clothes are mine and even the horse is mine. The magistrate said, the case is dismissed. This man has gone mad. The rich man could not understand that it was dangerous to give his clothes and horse to such a mystic who could tell such a great lie. He could tell even more lies. This is just a joke, sort of joke. How the mystic's lie has brought suffering on the rich man. Just a joke. Moral of the story. If we follow the mind which trains us in the basics of life, then whatever arrangements we make in our lives are bound to be false. But we don't even give a thought that we have accepted the first false assumption provided by mind, I am suffering. It is a fallacy. No human being, no soul has ever been suffering. The suffering surrounds it, is on the outside, and the mind says, I am suffering. The very identity of I am suffering is a fundamental lie. After accepting this lie, we have to step into other lies to forget this suffering. By drinking alcohol, by prayer, by worship, by dance, by music, and so on. How to forget suffering? There is suffering, so how to forget it? And the man who moves in the direction of forgetting suffering can never take a journey toward truth. Then what is the way? The morning I say to you, don't try to forget suffering. No one has been able to end suffering by forgetting it. Because someone who is trying to forget, it has assumed that he is suffering. Now, whether he tries to forget it or whatever he does for it, there is no end to suffering. The way to know where is suffering, what is suffering, is it really there? First of all, recognize that suffering. For someone who tries to recognize the suffering and has focused his eyes on suffering, his suffering disappears like dewdrops disappear. When the sun rises in the morning, the dewdrops disappear. Like that, the suffering will disappear. When a man starts observing that suffering with immense attention, the sun rays of witnessing encounter the suffering, and it disappears like dewdrops evaporate, leaving no trace behind. What remains is bliss. Bliss is not the opposite of suffering. No one can ever be blissful by fighting with suffering. Bliss is the absence of suffering. When suffering is gone, what remains is called bliss. So here what Osho says is suffering is there. So when you want to forget suffering through alcohol, entertainment or religion, then suffering does not end. It is always there. Whenever you entertain it or divert your attention through other means, it is temporarily gone, but it comes back again once your diversions stop. So what is the way? The way is suffering itself is not there. That is not a real one. So if you look into suffering, find out where your inner core, you call it soul, your life, or Brahman or Atma or whatever by name you call it, that remains the same. The suffering is outward, which is merely thoughts. That is not real. So when you look into it, it disappears. That's what he is trying to say. So that is the reality. The suffering is of the mind. Mind is not real. So when you understand that, when it is true for you, then the suffering disappears. Otherwise, there is no means of coming out of suffering. Because there is not even coming out, it is not there. You have to understand that. So with this, we will end this episode. Stay with me for another episode. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video.